Hello to all the friends and families at Mousetrap Theatre Projects. Rachel Link here, the creator of That Rockin Bard. I'm here today because I'm going to show you some special behind the scenes footage and hopefully get you guys involved as well. We hope that you've enjoyed the soft launch and the series so far, but I expect you're wondering, how did they do the opening titles? Well, you're just about to find out, and maybe you can create your own after watching this video. Once the lockdown had eased up last year, David Casson-Beckett, who is the senior editor on That Rockin Bard, and I met up, formed a bubble, because we decided that we needed the opening titles done as soon as possible. And we planned the opening titles together. We researched the rock and roll colours, which were red, yellow and blue, and we decided that that is what we were going to go with. Traditionally, our logo is red, so we decided to switch it to yellow and then put the little theatre masks in blue at the top. We decided to try and do stop motion, and I'm going to show you how we achieved it. This was our base, and we attached this base using a type of masking tape. This masking tape is masking tape that painters and decorators use, so it's slightly stronger than your average masking tape. And we attached like 6 pieces to the back of this board. So we pulled off a really, really long piece and we just folded it over at the back, making sure it was sticky side up. I feel like I'm on Smart for anybody who knows what I'm talking about there. And we attached it in the corner like so. And then we are going to go around the certain points that will make sure that the board stays in place for animation. All the pieces in the most important areas, and I'm going to make sure that it's on the wall nice and straight. There we go, it's on the wall nice and straight. Prior to the animation, I designed how the words were going to look, and I did that on a computer, using a computer. I then printed them out from a printer, obviously, and I used the pieces of paper on top of some yellow card. So I put it over the top of the yellow card, this paper with the lettering on. And I got a pencil and I drew around the lettering so that I could actually see the indent, so that when I went over it with a biro, of all things, I would get something that looked like that. Now this is a D, and then I cut it out with the lines still there so that it would be visible, and I stuck the extra strong masking tape onto the back. So stop motion animation is a series of photographs that you take and then move the images across the screen. So I'm going to show you how to animate the letters that we did. We used an iPad. Of all things, we found an app called Stop Motion, and it's a free one which suited us very much perfectly because we are self-funded. And as you can see here, there you see is the original titles that we animated. I just click on it. This ended up being like 30 seconds long originally. So if I'm skipping backwards at the moment, as you can see, everything is unwinding. But if I go forwards, you can see it all appearing. Now, the good thing about this is that we can actually speed it up in the editor. The most important thing about stop motion is actually keeping the camera still. Okay, so you might not have anything to attach your video camera or your iPad or your iPhone on, and that's okay. So you can just hold it, but you've got to be really, really still if you're holding it, if someone is holding it for you. Or you can use a book to prop it up. So I will show you a bit like that. You can stand it so long as the camera can capture the image. We stood the iPad on a tripod and we used something called a Joby clamp. There is the iPad or the tablet. There's the Joby clamp. This is a tripod. As you can see, it has a phone clamp attachment now, so I'm just going to remove that. Best thing about a tripod is that you can adjust the attachments, so that's really, really good. Okay, so we are going to attach the Joby clamp. Now you need to have the ability to be able to flip the Joby clamp. Now I'm quite lucky, I have a dip here. If you don't have that dip, you have to find some other way. Okay, and the Joby clamp has a little screw at the back which controls this. You see? And then you just adjust this to the correct height. This is what the setup should look like. This should be facing towards, oh, it's out of focus, towards the screen and the animation board over there. As you can see, this light is humongous, which is why I didn't show you how we set it up. Now we actually put it in the corner here to hit this board here, but as you can see, it's hitting it quite nicely from there, so I'm just going to leave it there. But this lighting was too soft as we were going for a retro feel. So what we did was we increased it. It's very white now, and that's what we went for because this would hopefully then flash. The thing that we did next was making sure that we had the letters placed exactly where we wanted them. So in speeded up version, I'm going to show you how we did that. What would then happen was I stood at the side over here. Dave was behind the camera like this. So here's the stop motion app. You click on the stop motion app, click new movie, and then it will come up with all this information. As you can see, we have the screen. And what he would do is he would repress this red button here. And then it would be my job to move all of these little letters just a little tiny bit to create the illusion that they're moving across the screen. You've imagined that Dave has taken the first preset photograph, and he would probably actually take more than one just to give this red screen a little bit of time. And then what I would have to do is I'd have to stand up and start moving the letters, and it would just literally be tiny amounts, and I would have to move all of them, every single one. And because it was quite retro, we didn't worry too much about it being smooth, just so long as we created the illusion that they were moving. And then I'd sit back and he would take another photograph. Imagine I am Dave. We've got the couple red screens down here ready to go. And then I would take another one. And then, oh, imagine suddenly I am Rachel. Then I would have to come up. Then I would move this down. Make sure it's coming into the correct place. All the letters are down, as you can see, and then we would run back here. Imagine Dave was ready, and we would take another photograph. That's how we get it to start animating. Now I've done those little bits, I'm going to crack on with the rest of the animating and animate those titles into the correct position, and then I'll show you what we've got. There you have it. The titles are all in position. Okay, so as you can see there, it says That Rockin Bard. Here I've reset back to the beginning when I first started out with those letters being there. I'm going to check it by pressing play. There you go, and as you notice, they shot across the screen. When it's finished, I'm going to press this button here to go back, and you can see here that it says about a 2-second animation, and I think I took about 40, maybe 50 photographs, so it's not a very long animation. What I'm going to do is select, and here I'm going to click this one, and as you can see, it comes up with export. So I'm going to export it, and then I'm going to put save video, and it will come up with that, and I'm going to click OK, and there it is. That video is now being sent via WeTransfer, and it's just come in. Let's get into the editing software, and I'll show you what you can do from there. So I've got our little animation that we did, and I've put it down here into the editor. We go to cropping, which is up here. We click the crop button. We do crop to fill, and the aim is to try and zoom in as close as we can on that, and then click the little arrow in the top corner. Okay, and I'm going to press play. Whee! Oh, there it all goes. As you can see, that you can play around with the speed. So you click here, you come up with the option of show speed editor, and you can speed it up, which will make it insanely fast, or you can slow it down to about, I don't know, 5 seconds or so. I've slowed it down to 6, and this is what it looks like on 6. Very slow on 6. So that is probably too slow, so we'll just speed it up a little bit. So that is ready. I'm happy with that. We can control the colour and the lighting balance, but I go over that in a different video. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I think that looks pretty cool.